Okay, I'm back here with part 3 of my video. I got about 12 minutes to go on this one, so we can try to do this real quickly. Next up, we have some of my wrestling biographies. This is more of a, not just a biography, but it's more like an exercise approach to a better body. It's Triple H. And like I said, it's a bit of a biography, but it also gives you tips of how to keep your body in shape and shows you how he keeps his body in shape and everything nicely embroiled there, if you will. It's a good book, you know, if you want to know about how to keep, you know, your body right and everything, and also want to know how this guy came to be. This is the book for you, right here. Then of course we got one of the most talked about books when he was part of the WWE, and I think he still sells it because he gets royalties for it. Controversy Creates Cash with Eric Bischoff. This basically tells the story of how he came into wrestling and how he did the things he did in WCW and so on. So it's a pretty good book. It's a pretty good read. If you've not read this one yet and you want to know why people like this guy and despise this guy, definitely check this out. It's worth the read. To me it is. To me it is. So definitely check that out. Alright, next up we have, of course, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, his autobiography, if you will, sort of, with WWE. It's a nice book. It's got some great pictures in there. It talks about Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling when it came out by Dick Entertainment in association with WWE, or WWF at the time. It's a great read. I mean, and it's also got, if you don't want to read entirely through it, it's got a great, it's got some great pictures too. Like there's Hulk when he first started out, and you know, stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty, like I said, it's a pretty good read. You definitely have to check this out if you could find it. I think it's still on sale somewhere. But it's really, really cool. It's got a great embossy, if you will. So it's really, really a good read. I mean, if you want to know how he came to be in the business and all that, definitely worth the read. Then, of course, we have the Rise and Fall of ECW. This book came out about the same time, maybe a year or so after the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD. It talks about the same things, but goes into a little bit more detail. It actually talks about, I think one of the chapters, it talks about the lesbian kiss, or the lesbian angle between Kimona and Beulah, and how that not only, well, they mention it in the DVD, but how that nearly killed them. They called it the kiss of death. It wasn't just the pay-per-view that nearly got them, but it was also the, they called it the kiss of death, if you will. So yeah, it kind of goes into more detail about that. And here we have the Stone Cold Truth, the Stone Cold Steve Austin story, if you will, an autobiography of how he came to be in the business. It's really cool. These are all interesting reads, so if you haven't read them yet, you should. And then, of course, we got Heartbreak and Triumph, the Shawn Michaels story, the autobiography that goes with the DVD that came out as well, which is pretty cool too. It's a great read, there's no doubt about it. I have friends that have read this book, they like it. It's really, really cool. It's a really, really good read, so definitely, again, if you have not checked this book out, you should. And then to wrap it up, here we have Transformers Identification and Price Guide. This is basically identifying, kind of showing you how much your Transformer toys would cost if you had all the parts, or if there were some parts missing. Like, for example, if you had the let's see, the original, trying to think here, I'm trying to find, because I know some people still have the originals. If you had the original Optimus Prime right here, if you have everything, you'd be like $275 plus he would be worth, if he had everything. If he didn't, he'd be between $65 to $70 if he was basically between $65 and $125 if he was missing anything. But if he had everything, he was in the box, $275 plus. So that's pretty cool. And then let's say for somebody like who's very rare, if I can find him now. I know I'm running out of time here. Well, not totally run out of time. Another character's around here somewhere. Oh, here we go. We're getting into it. We're getting there. Hold on, folks. Bear with me, as some people would tell you. Here we go, Metroplex. They say if you had Metroplex, he would, if he didn't have all the parts, he would cost between $110 to $180. But if he had everything and he was in the box, he'd cost about $400 plus. And if you had a free glow-in-the-dark Transformers the movie poster inside the box along with everything else, add $15 to $25 to that $400. So basically, this gives you an idea of what your Transformer figures would cost if they had everything in them. So that's pretty cool. I'll probably do a little bit of a video on this probably down the line, kind of give you an example of what, if you have anything, what it would cost if you had everything together. Then here we have Down a Sunny Dirt Road, an autobiography of Stan and Jan Berenstain. Kind of tells you how they came to be, how they met, how they got into writing stories, first for like an adult magazine, and then they went directly into the Berenstains. How they started out with a few stories for Dr. Zeus himself. It's really good. It's a really good read. I mean, I highly recommend you buy it. I highly recommend you get this. I mean, if you're a Berenstain Bears fan, this is the book for you. There's no doubt about it. It's really nice. It's got some great pictures in there. It's really cool. It's really good. It's a really good read. There's no doubt about that. Then here we have Transformers, the Ultimate Guide. Oh man. And this is something, if you're not this was $25, folks, $25. So if you're not a Transformers fan, I don't know where you are. And all this is done by, I think, by IDW, I think, some of the people, or Dreamwave, did some of the artwork here. It's basically an extensive guide of all the cartoons, of the movie, and stuff like that, of the comics, of Beast Wars and stuff, the action figures. I mean, everything, man, everything. I mean, if you don't know what this book is, go online, look for it. If you get it for a good price, get it. It's worth the read. There's no doubt about it. It is an essential collection, along with the price guide deal. Along with this price guide deal, it is an essential collection in addition to your Transformers collection. And then finally, let me check my time. Okay, still got plenty of time. Finally, we have Hanabara Cartoons. That's right, Hanabara Cartoons. I've got a little thing in here. It's from Yesterday Land. I don't think many people remember that. It gives you information about the shows. But this is basically also, and I want you to look at that cover there. Look at that. Pretty nice, huh? Pretty nice. But it kind of gives you it's basically like a guide and a history thing. gives you some great pictures. You know, like this one here. Look at that. Look at that, folks. That's pretty cool. But it basically gives you an extensive guide as to the history of Hanna-Barbera and how Bill and Joe came to be in their own studios and did the things that they did. It's a really good read. It's kind of falling apart a little bit. I can fix that. But it's really a good read. I mean, again, I highly suggest that you find this book somehow and read it. It goes up to, I think the most recent it goes up to is about 2000, I think. Well, basically 98 is the highest it goes. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it's a really good read. It's really a good read. It's a collector's item. There's no doubt about it. So if you're a fan of animation, of history of animation, I know Zara Nizarak you are, definitely the book to get if you can find it. So that's all my graphic novels and biography books and stuff that I have. Hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry I was in 3 parts. I don't have the unlimited time anymore on my main account. So again, hope you enjoyed this. Comment down below if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.